All right, so this next part is a strength circuit. Okay, so I'm going to continue to refer to my phone here just for the exercise I gave you. Okay, number one, we're going to do box squats. Okay, the depth should be to at least 14 inches. Then we're going to go to a straight leg hip lift and a bent leg hip lift. So we'll just tackle 3 at a time here. Okay, so the first one is a box squat. Okay, so first thing you want to do. Okay, and I'm going to go from the front and then from the side. All right, so there's a lot of little coaching cues to remember. Okay. Sorry about that. A lot of coaching cues to remember, but I want you to really focus on 2 things. Head positioning, okay? And then whether you want to think about pushing the knees out or foot positioning, whatever works for you better, whatever works for as far as like those internal cues you give yourself as far as to get your body in the right position. So when you're doing this, I always want you to find a focal point on the wall, way out in front of you, okay? Or again, and then focus on the feet and the foot positioning, okay? So your foot positioning, just outside your shoulders, allow your toes, so you don't want toes straight ahead, but just allow your toes to just turn out just a little bit, okay? And the first movement is you've got to drive back the hips like you're reaching back for a chair. So again, I'll do some reps facing forward so you can kind of see what I'm talking about, the knee positioning in the head and the spine and the chest, and then I'll do some from the side, okay? So just for the sake of this, you can always go hands here on the hips, arms out in front if you have a hard time balancing, okay? But eventually I would like to see everyone, when we do these, I like to keep people up here, doing hands behind the head. The reason being is just because it reinforces a good extension of this whole cavity right here, so it keeps people upright when they squat. At least it helps, okay? So what we're gonna do here is, again, I'm just gonna put my fingertips behind my ears, and I'm just gonna knock out some squats here. So touching down and going. Again, finding that focal point, okay? And while I'm pausing right here, okay, I'm at a good depth. My toes, again, my feet are flat, my heels are down, my toes are slightly outward, and I'm working on driving the knees out. And the reason why we're talking about with the knees is because it helps the knees track right over the toes, and that keeps pressure off the knees, okay? Now, here we go. So from the side, okay, same foot position, okay? Got to drive my hips back first. Okay? And while I'm doing this, okay, you can either think about pushing the knees out, or for me, what I think about doing is pushing my foot to the outside of my shoe. So if this is my foot, I'm thinking about putting pressure on my shoe here, and that really helps set your feet and get them nice and grounded, and helps drive the knees out, okay? So again, you can put your arms out here if you're having a real hard time balancing, but notice the whole time when I'm squatting, this has to be locked in, okay? So if you don't have something to where you can get this low, okay, you can always use your regular bench, but the bench is probably gonna sit a little bit higher, so you're probably not gonna hit as high of a squat. So I would say just do a few of those just to kind of get your timing down and get this posture set first. And once you're able to do that, get rid of it, okay? And try to go without. So again, you're here, coming down and up, okay? Facing forward here, get this out of the way. Okay? And then again, from the side, your goal is try to break parallel. Okay, we don't have to be way down here, ass to grass, okay, but just right around parallel, just being able to get this crease of the hip below that knee, okay? So that's your box squat or just a regular squat. So really drill that one well, okay? Next one, straight leg hip lifts, bent leg hip lifts. These aren't so challenging, but they can be in their own way, but it's just to give you extra volume on your glutes and hamstrings, okay? This is probably just a lagging muscle group for everybody. So I give everybody extra work here on this side. So pretend you have your bench. You can just use your regular bench at home, or if you have one of those big exercise balls, you can go one of those, any sporting goods store. They're not expensive. You just get them. They're super easy, and there you can create a lot of different style workouts with that. But a simple bench will do just fine. So what we're gonna do here, okay, just pretend that's your bench press. So you're gonna lie on your back, put your legs straight, okay, right here, lift up, back down, up, and back down, okay? That's the straight leg hip lift. The bent leg hip lift, put the arches on the bench, drive up, down, up, and back down, okay? So the key thing with that one is to basically, obviously, try to keep the legs as straight as you can, and then the bent leg, you're just pushing through the arch, okay? So one's gonna incorporate a little more hamstring, maybe a little more calves, but again, both are great for developing the glutes and hamstrings and teaching hip drive as far as like initiating the movement with the hips. Now when you do this, try not to overarch your back. And what I mean by that is try not to do this overarching motion, okay? This one you actually want to kind of flatten yourself out when you get on the ground. and really kind of engage your abs, squeeze your abs, and that kind of helps use your glutes a little bit more. Again, a little saying we use is think about taking your belt buckle, driving it up to the ceiling, okay? So you have straight leg hip lifts, bent leg hip lifts, okay? Next one, okay, is a front plank, just like you do in your warm-up, march, straight leg march. Okay, so let me get this out of the way. So you go into your front plank, okay, and this is gonna be basically raising one leg off the ground, off to another, okay? So you're gonna go one after another after another. Again, keeping the legs as straight as possible. And the key thing when you're doing this is don't lose posture here. This is the biggest thing. Maintain the posture, okay? Now it's gonna be kind of hard to see from this angle, but the key thing when I'm raising that leg up is we don't wanna see any dipping or diving of the hips. You really wanna fight for it, okay? But from the side view, you're here, great plank, okay? Locking the legs straight, lift. You don't have to lift very high, okay? So we don't have to get way up here, okay? So just lifting, keeping that leg straight and trying to maintain, okay, that nice rigid posture, okay? So there's your front plank, okay? So next on your sheet, okay, excuse me 1 minute. Okay, after you do your front plank, you're gonna do an overhead reach, the T-raise, and the push-up. All three great shoulder stabilization exercises, okay? So the first one is the overhead reach. Pretend you're doing an overhead press on the ground, lie on your stomach, keep your chest up, relax the legs, okay? So you're gonna keep your thumbs up, here, reach, back, reach, in and out, okay? The next one is a T-raise. You're in the same position, but now your thumbs are gonna stay up, you're gonna lift the chest and squeeze the blades. So from behind, we're looking for this posture right here. Driving, then relaxing, squeezing, and relaxing, okay? So again, from the floor, okay, arms at your side, thumbs up, lift, squeeze, down. Lift, squeeze, down. Lift, squeeze, and down, okay? So overhead reach, and then T-raise, okay? Next one's gonna be just good old-fashioned push-ups, okay? Depending on where your strength is for your push-ups, you can go right off the bat, right off the ground, full push-up style, or you could put your hands on a bench, so it puts you at an incline, so your feet are down here, head's down here, makes the push-up a little easier, and that just allows you to give yourself a little bit more range of motion. So if you can't quite hit the full reps, well, let's just say you can knock out 10, but the workout calls for 15, can't quite get to 15, you can always knock out 10, take a little break, hit 5 more, or just go to the bench so you're able to hit that full rep range. But try to stay within this because this is just as much of a core exercise as it is a chest, shoulders, and tricep exercise, okay? So push up right here. Actually, let me show you this. What we're looking for, when we go to push something away, we don't bring our arms out here, we don't come in here like a T-Rex. You bring your arms right here, basically thumb to nipple line, and we drive away. And we really don't need to go anything beyond this. So from the side is about right here. So again, that whole chest to floor push-ups, those are great if you have the range of motion, but again, it's not needed. So just drop in right about here, and then you're gonna drive away, drop in, drive away again, maintaining great core posture and abs engaged, okay? So what we're looking for is that basically that 45-degree angle right here in the armpit, okay? So here we go. Locked in position, coming down, up, down, up, down, up, okay? So when you're doing that push-up, there's a lot of little things you can think about. Am I tight like how you do a plank? Okay, you can tighten up your legs. Me, I always think about kind of like with the squat, I focus on what my feet are doing. So same thing goes for the push-up. Focus on what your hands are doing. I will actually spread my fingers and really focus on the thumb and pinky and really try to squeeze the floor as hard as I can. And you'll be surprised how much more muscle activation you'll get out of the movement, and also too, it kind of helps keep stress off the shoulder. The one thing I don't want to see people do is that old school T-Rex push-up where basically we would get in there and bob up and down with our elbows in this close, and they kind of look like this, you know? They get here, and they do one of these numbers, okay? You're not doing really any good on the development of your body, nor are you really just adding stress to the shoulders and not getting anything returned, so avoid that, okay? Next one, after you do your push-ups, you're gonna go to, let's see here, you're gonna go to groiners, and then rear delt raise with dumbbells, or plates lying on a bench, okay? So the groiners, same push-up position, you're gonna swing your right foot up to your right hand, switch back, left foot up to left hand, switch back. You see this a lot in dynamic warm-ups or stuff that you probably saw when you were playing football, okay? So you're gonna be right here, push-up position, swing your foot up, here, up, here, up, and of course, that's just working on the hips. You can always add a reach in there if you want to, where you're in this position, and then reach up, switch, reach up, okay? So from the front, okay, I'm here, bring my foot up, switch, up, switch, up, okay? So on your reps sheet, when it says 3 sets of 10, I want that to be, just for now, just do 5 and 5. But as you get more conditioned, really push that, because if you start to create that and try to speed that up, you can actually get a great conditioning effect. And that'll burn up your legs pretty quickly. Especially if you're doing anywhere 10 to 20 per leg. That's a long time to hold the plank, and 2, that gets the quads and everything else burning pretty well. Okay, last one is a rear delt raise with plates or small dumbbells or whatever. So again, pretend this is my bench, okay? Let me grab some dumbbells. So, you would lie flat on your bench, okay? And then I'm gonna go facing this way again. You would lie flat on your bench, okay? So you're here, and then you're gonna come up. Now obviously your bench is gonna sit higher, so you're gonna be able to get your arms all the way down. And then I want you to go here, rising up, and then back down, up, and back down. Again, remember, a little weight goes a long way. So you're better off using 2.5 pound, 5 pound plates, or 5 pound dumbbells, or whatever the interchangeable dumbbells you have, and really hitting that for really strict, hard reps, and even at the higher rep range of 10 to 20, maybe even higher. But for right now, really focus on form, posture, and again, that's gonna help kind of keep that shoulder healthy, okay? So without a bench, you get rid of this guy, okay? And then you go standing. So from the side, again, set that posture, stick that butt out. You're gonna be here, coming down and up. Okay, and notice I don't swing the dumbbells, I lift nice and slow. And honestly, and these are, I'm using 8s here. If you go real slow, you'll find that you actually stop right about here. And that's probably a good sticking point for most people, okay? So again, from this angle, notice, that's about as high as I can go without creating momentum. So again, if you're taking these really easy, make sure you're going real strict with the form. You're gonna realize you're not gonna be able to get as high up, but you're gonna get way more out of the exercise. So recapping, you have box squats, hip lifts with the straight legs, hip lifts with bent legs. You have the overhead or front plank with the straight leg march. Okay, that's where you're here, straight leg march. Then you're gonna go to your belly. Then you're gonna give me an overhead reach. Then you're gonna do the T-raise. Then you're gonna go full push-up. Then you go to groiner, and then rear delts, okay? There's a lot of shoulder and hips motion here, predominantly shoulder work, but there's also a lot of core stuff in here too. So you go through those 9 exercises, 3 rounds as fast as you can go within reason, okay? And then you start over time, start to increase repetition. It gets pretty tough pretty quick. So especially towards the end of your 12-week, 6-week progression, where I believe you're doing multiple sets for multiple reps, somewhere around like 15 reps a set. So give that a run, see how it goes.